I sincerely believe that Matt Brieda is going to be the Buffalo Bills RB1 in 2021. All coming up on today's edition of the Bills Mafia Report. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Bills Mafia Report, and you are damn right you read that title correctly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am known for some of my controversial takes. Normally, videos like this are always accompanied by, Dan, you're such a moron style comments. But if you do look back at my past track record, sometimes, maybe we call it dumb luck, maybe we call it relatively average research that turns out to be in my favor. Regardless, my batting average would put me in the Hall of Fame as far as football takes are concerned. And I am dying on the hill that I believe that Matt Brieda is going to be RB1 for the Buffalo Bills for a variety of different reasons. Whether or not that you want to talk about the competition that's currently on this roster or his overall skill set that has drawn me to this overall conclusion. So right before we get into it, I do just have one announcement. So many of you always ask me, Dan, how can I support your channel? Well, let me tell you what, the easiest way to do it is simply by smashing the ever-living out of that like button. But say you ever want to go the extra mile, Patreon or becoming a YouTube member is the next best thing to do. And you can find the Patreon link in my description, and you can just hit that join button next to the subscribe button and look at some of the tiers. There's a bunch of super cool benefits, etc. And then it does help my channel go the extra mile. If not, I'm just so thankful that you guys watch my content on a regular basis. Without further ado, let's dive into it. And so starting off this video, I did preface the fact that as you scroll through the comment section, there's probably a bunch of Dan, you know nothing type comments. And I believe it's not even going to be coming exclusively from other Bills fans. It's also going to be coming from Miami Dolphins fans, right? Or maybe San Francisco 49ers fans who completely forgot the value that Breida brought to the table once he was replaced with Mostert after his injury. Now, first off, I did just want to say that I do think that Miami significantly underutilized Matt Brieda last year. He only ended up playing 12 games, and his stats were nothing to rag home about, let's put it that way. But when you look at Breida from an actual player perspective, he's still 26 years old, which in retrospect is getting up there in age when it comes to the running back scenario, and the fact that he just can't seem to stay healthy. Last year, like I said, with Miami, he only ended up playing 12 games. The year prior to that, he only played 6 with San Francisco. That was after Mostert ended up taking over. And the Super Bowl year in San Francisco, I'm pretty sure he ended up racking up about 14 games by itself. But the guy still has these playmaking abilities that I think is enough for the Bills to consider him to be the #1 running back. And a lot of that has to do with these stats right here, and that just so happens to be his capabilities of being a pass catching back. Now, there's no question when we try and pick out what is wrong with Zach Moss, what is wrong with Devin Singletary, there's a couple of things that come to mind. Number one, they both have butterfingers. Don't get me wrong, they have reeled in their share of touchdown passes throughout their very short careers so far, but drops have been an issue for both. One in particular, Zach Moss ended up getting pulled after he ended up fumbling the football. I'm pretty sure he got pulled after once dropping a pass. Same thing with Devin Singletary after that. Matt Brieda, on the other hand, from those stats we just looked at, his catch percentage is absolutely up there. Second thing when it comes to Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, they are both not the fastest running backs on the face of the planet. That's where Brieda steps in, who is arguably one of the fastest running backs in the entire league. Now, when you look at the Buffalo Bills offense, this is how I want you to look at it, right? A lot of us are going to want to go toward Zach Moss, go toward Devin Singletary and saying, oh my God, that's going to be our guy. It's like the north-south runner. They're bulldozers. They're going to be able to really soften up the line. If it wasn't proved already in the 2020 season, the Buffalo Bills are not a run-the-ball-first type of offense. And in my opinion, coming from Brian Daboll's mindset, or at least trying to attempt to get into his mind, as well as Sean McDermott, as well as the rest of the coaching staff, we're going to want the guy to get the most snaps in the running back room that has the most potential to be a threat in the passing game. And that is precisely going to be Matt Brieda. The guy is an absolute lightning bolt right into the outside. And in my opinion, once Brieda does control the majority of the snaps, I think that he's going to be able to hit a lot of the gaps created by our offensive line a hell of a lot faster than Devin Singletary and Zach Moss would be able to. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I sitting here telling you that Singletary and Moss will not be on this team? Not at all. I just think that both of them are going to be falling a bit down in the depth chart. You probably saw my prediction for overall running back depth as far as what that room's going to look like. I see Zach Moss being number 2. I see Devin Singletary being number 3. And then number 1 is going to be Matt Brieda. Now, once again, I want to let everybody know this is exclusively relying on the fact that Brieda can play a full season of football. And unfortunately, the only time he ever did that was his rookie season in San Francisco. The following year, the Super Bowl year, was 14. Right in the 2019 season was 13 games. And in the 2020 season was only 12. But then again, a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was just being significantly underutilized. So granted, this guy never hit 1,000 yards so far, but really he never truly ended up getting a full season when it was either caused by an injury or within San Francisco, the Mostert situation, or within Miami, which realistically was the Gaskin situation where he ended up not being as heavily utilized because of some talent that was demonstrated on the roster already. I do not believe that Matt Brieda is done. I still think that he is a top running back in the league, and I have a feeling that he's about to demonstrate that and thrive in the Buffalo Bills offense as RB number 1. Dal Mafia, do me a favor, leave me a comment. What do you think about this? I know that this is going to be pretty controversial. There's a lot of stands of Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, but I really want to hear your thoughts on this. I am very confident that this is going to happen, so really want to hear your takes to see where exactly they align. Dal Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Dal Mafia Report. And before I let you go, always remember, let's go Buffalo.